Hey there, today we're back in the studio. I'm doing a bit of a behind the scenes. I had model Tayla Newitt back in the studio. Haven't worked with Tayla for a while, so it was really good to get her back in. We wanted to play to her strengths, which is more of a goth vibe. So we had this whole idea for this sort of gothic fantasy type image. We kept things pretty simple. We only had a couple of outfits. We had some basic props. So I hung this beautiful gold backdrop by Kate backdrop. I think it's antique gold or antique green, something like that. I had some candelabras and things like that, and some candles going. These are actually just fake LED candles, but they can work really cool with a little bit of Photoshop magic. I was just showing Tayla some of the photos that we had taken. So we had a couple of different swords that we were playing with. This is one that Tayla brought in. I also had my smaller sword that you'll see in some of the images, which is a replica of Sting, which was used by Frodo in Lord of the Rings. So that was pretty cool. I love being able to use that one. It's really good in the studio because it's actually a slightly smaller size than a lot of the cosplay swords. I then grabbed this rather large and heavy candelabra that I had in the studio, and I actually lit the candle. So these are real candles as opposed to the little LED ones. And I had Tayla sitting on the floor, but then I also put her up on the chair so that we could get some shots of her with those as well. I then had Tayla still sitting in the chair, but we tried with a couple of different swords. So we tried with the long sword, which was a bit too long, so we brought Sting back out again and played with that. So other props that we had in the studio to play with, I had this great Gothic goblet, which has got like a skull holding the actual goblet part, so that was really fun to play with and just pretending to drink from that and just get some really cool moody shots with that. And of course, what is a gothic styled photo shoot without using a skull? So this is my little friend. We call him Henry. I don't know why. It's just a name that sort of stuck in the studio. We had some fun playing around with that, blowing some kisses and just giving Henry some kisses. Henry always loves getting a bit of attention from the girls, and the girls all seem to love playing with him. He's just too cute. And he doesn't answer back. Next, I just had some standing shots. I wanted to get some really sort of classic goth but fantasy style shots with the sword. I wanted to capture that sort of film noir sort of look of all these images. So the final images all ended up in black and white. I tried to get some action shots with Tayla sort of swinging the sword, and I was testing out, I was actually using the Neewer Q6 speed light or flash and a softbox, and I was actually seeing how well that worked with capturing some action shots. Next, it was time for a quick costume change, and Tayla changed her outfit. I'm just going through here. We had some inspiration images that we had found on Pinterest, so we were just using those as reference. I was jumping backwards and forwards and doing similar scenes with both outfits. So this is where we had the candelabra back in, and I was getting some really sort of moody shots shooting through the candelabra and just holding the candelabra. I then put Tayla back on the floor. I had some black fabric that I put on the floor just to make it a little bit more comfortable for her to kneel on the floor, because my concrete floor isn't that comfy. And again, just playing with different poses, this time sort of on the floor with the smaller swords. I really should have moved my camera down a little more, but I'm sure you get the idea. We're playing with the different swords, like I just said. I was sort of trying to get almost like almost a romantic vibe, if that sounds even possible with a sword. It was a more sort of intimate type of shot with the sword that we were going for. I think we nailed it on a couple of images, but it was something that it was really hard to sort of convey. So I'll show you some of the images in a tick, but that's pretty much it for this shoot. Big thank you to Tayla for joining me in the studio again, of course, for this one. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like and maybe subscribe, and I will see you next time on YouTube. Bye.